This is me again, Mr. Zamora, and I am here to explain how to solve Algebra 1 or a 9th grade S16, compare linear functions. The previous activity, the X15, we were comparing linear functions from equations and graphs. Here we're going to do the same from equation, from graphs, but also from tables. Okay, we're including tables in this exercise or in this activity. All right, so remember that when we have an equation, it is really easy to know the slope and to know the y-intercept because they are implied right here. This is the slope and this is the y-intercept. Remember that? Okay, but when we have graphs and or tables, we need to do some operations. We need to use algebra for that. Okay, so in order to do that, we are going to try to answer the question that is here. Which statement is true? The slope of function A, the slope of this function, is greater than the slope of function B. I know that the slope of function B is 4, remember? But I don't know what the slope of the function B is. So we have to find it out. Okay? So how are we going to do it? Okay? Remember, this is the slope. How do we get the slope from a table? Here we have, remember, these are the coordinates. These are actually the coordinates. If we draw a graph, right? If we go -4, which is going to be like, let's say that it's going to be here, like 1, 2, 3, and this is 4, and -5, more or less right here. This is the coordinates of this line. 5 and 4 positive, 5 here, 4 here, and 7, 6, 7 more or less over here, and 6 more or less over here. So the line will be something like this. So if we want to graph this, it is going to be something like this. Okay, remember, these numbers are actually coordinates. So what we're going to do is that we are going to use the formula m equals change in y divided by change in x. So we're going to choose two of these lines. Let's say that I am going to choose these two, the positive one. Sorry, the positive ones. Okay, I am going to use these two. All right. So what is the change in y? It is 6. Let me change it to black. 6, oops, minus, always write the minus symbol, 6 minus 4, okay, divided by the change in x, 7 minus 5, 7 minus 5, okay, so 6 minus 4 equals 2, 7 minus 5 equals 2. So the slope for this table is 1. Okay, the slope in this function is 4, this one right here. Okay, so which one is greater, A or B? B is greater, so function A is less than the slope of function B. Okay, so this one is the correct statement. So let's go back to my Excel web page and you submit it. All right, now this is like the one that we did in S16, I mean in S15, this one and this one, it's what we are learning today. Okay, so remember, we have to choose 2 points. Okay, let me print the screen. Let's go back here. A new one. Okay. All right. So what I am going to do here is, well, I am being asked about the slope again. So we want to know the slope of these two functions, function A and function B. Let's try to do first one. This is just a recommendation. Try to use, if possible, to use 2 points that are marked on this quadrant, okay? Because it's positive x and positive y. Okay, so you don't have to use negative numbers. Sometimes people struggle with negative numbers. It's easier to use positive numbers. Okay, so I want to use, let's say, this point here and this point here. Okay, these 2 points. Remember, this is what we learned to do. If you don't remember really good, you can go back to the previous video. All right, so the change in y from 6 to 8 is 2, divided by the change in x from 1 to 3 is 2. So the slope here is 1. Okay, I repeat, from 6 to 8, this is y. Okay, it's 2, and from 1 to 3 is 2, so the slope in here is 1. M equals 1. Okay, here we have, again, I am going to use these positive numbers. So from 25 to 15, okay, so 25 minus, okay, from, or 25 minus 5 equals 20. 6 minus 1 equals 5. So the slope here equals 20 divided by 5 equals 4. So here, this function, the slope of this function is greater than the slope of this function. B is greater than A. All right? So the function of A is less than the slope of function B. The slope of function A is less than the slope of function B. Submit. Oops, sorry. I forgot to click here. Keep it up. All right. So the next one, I want to pay attention. I want you to pay attention to this part. They are not asking you about the slope in this question. They are asking you about the y-intercept. It is really easy to know the y-intercept in a graph. The y-intercept in this graph is -1. What is the y-intercept? Is where the line crosses the y-axis, which is right here. It's -1. Okay, so let me print. Okay, so in here, this is the y-intercept, which is, remember, the y-intercept was represented by the letter B, equals -1. Why do I say that the y-intercept was represented by the letter B? Because we have the formula y equals m. M was the slope, x plus b. Okay, so remember, m was the slope, and b was the y-intercept. Okay, so here we know that the y-intercept in this function, or this letter in this function, is -1. What is the y-intercept in this function where we have the table and we don't have a graph? Okay, what we have to do is to do the first we have to get the slope. We have to get m. All right, how do we get m? Remember, we have, for example, m equals change in y divided by change in x. So let's say that I want to use these two numbers. All right, -15 minus, always write the minus first, minus what? Minus this number, -19, divided by the change in x, -6 minus -8. Okay, remember, when we have a subtraction of a negative number, it is actually an addition. So here we're going to use an addition. So instead of saying -15 minus -19, we can say -15 plus 19. Okay, so it equals 4, and it equals 2. So n, oops, sorry about that, m equals 4 divided by 2 equals 2. This is the slope, this is not the y-intercept, so we are not finished yet. Okay, we cannot compare this and this. This is m and this is b. Okay, we have to compare b and b. So we're going to use this formula again, but we're going to substitute the y and the m by any of these. We can choose any line. So I am going to choose this line. I'm going to choose this row. Okay, so in this row, y, how much is y? 11. So I am going to write, let me change color so I don't get confused. 11 equals m, or the slope. What is the slope? I know that is 2 times x. How much is x in this? Remember, I am using this line. X equals 7 plus, how much is b? So b is something I don't know. This is the one that I want to get. So here I can solve this part of the equation. Okay, 2 times 7. So 11 equals 2 times 7 equals 14 plus b. Okay? Now, what do? I have to clear b. I have to leave b alone. So number 14 has to go to the other side. It was adding because it was positive. Now it is going to be subtracting, and number 11 is positive. So 14 negative plus 11 equals -3. So b, in this case, the value of b equals -3. So which one is greater, -1 or -3? Be careful on that, because always in negative numbers, the number that you see that is kind of bigger, like 3 is bigger than 1, well, this is actually less because it's farther from 0. Okay, So in this case, b is greater, the y-intercept in function a is greater than the y-intercept in function b. Okay? So function a, -1. Function b, -3. So the y-intercept of function a is greater than the y-intercept of function b. Y-intercept in function a, -1, is greater than the y-intercept in function b, -3. So this is the one that is correct. We submit it and you got it. All right. So this is it. Yeah, probably you're going to take a little bit more time in this kind of problems, but I know you can do it. And see you around. Have a nice day.